Hi guys, my name is Lucia and welcome back to another video in my series Make Up Your Mind, where I talk about makeup related things I have made my mind up about. If you are new to this series, I will link my playlist down below. Today I'm going to be talking about makeup that was supposed to be limited edition, aka limited edition makeup made permanent. Before every video on this series, I always give a disclaimer, and specifically with this topic, this can be a little tricky, because there definitely isn't all evil to this. Sometimes a product comes out and the brand has absolutely no idea how hyped this product will be. It sells out in minutes, then they restock it, it sells out again, people want it so badly and they think, you know what, this would be beneficial to consumers if we made it limited edition. There's not always something wrong with that. However, in a lot of cases, brands will say, this is the last chance you have to buy it, go buy it right now, while stock lasts, etc., etc. And in reality, they know while stock lasts until we make it permanent. Sometimes labeling a product as limited edition can be just as simple as another marketing strategy to get you to buy it, and then when it's been limited edition for long enough and enough people are still saying we want this, they'll say, oh, it's permanent now. Another thing that brands do is they withhold stock. So sometimes if something that is limited edition comes out, they have made a certain number of these products, but they only sell maybe 75% of them. So then the frenzy becomes even bigger and you think, oh my god, I didn't get my limited edition product, what am I gonna do? Then they have another restock and then it just continues and the hype grows bigger. I've talked about this before, but the whole idea of not being able to get something makes it that much more special and makes you think, I have to get it. The thing with limited edition stuff is you don't always have time to hold off and say, wait, let me watch some reviews, let me think about this, let me come back to this in 2 weeks and say, do I still want this? Sometimes limited edition stuff sells out in an hour, and you either have it or you don't. And yes, sometimes we buy stuff just because it's limited edition, and then when it's permanent, we think, why didn't I just wait for that to be permanent? I didn't even really want this. I'm going to start with the list I made on my phone. I'm going to start with the liquid lipsticks Miami Fever from Ofra Cosmetics. This was a collab that Kathleen Lights did with Ofra. This product came out in the summer of 2015. It is an orange liquid lip. It is beautiful, but I had no interest in this. It was out all summer long. They restocked it a couple of times, and I thought, oh, that'll probably look so bad on my skin tone. Then the fall came, and I loved Kathleen Lights, so I was following her on Twitter. I saw a tweet from Kathleen Lights saying this will probably only be available for a couple more days. The stock is extremely limited. Once this is gone, it is gone. And I got scared. I thought, oh my god, that's it. It's gone. It's been out for months and I had the opportunity to buy it, but now I won't have that opportunity again. So I bought it. I bought it because I didn't know any better. I was 16 years old and I thought this was going forever and I wanted to try it out. I was checking the website after I bought it because I wanted to see, was I one of the lucky last few? When does this go out of stock? It didn't. And if you go on the Ofra website, today, you can buy Miami Fever. Why did a tweet ever exist saying stock is extremely limited while stock lasts? Talk about FOMO. That plants the idea of FOMO. Look, this is your last chance. You cannot buy this anymore after right now. And then they make it permanent. I feel like at that point, after it's been out for months and they claim stocks are limited, they have definitely decided already, okay, we're gonna make this permanent in our collection. Sure, I liked the liquid lipstick. I got use out of it, but would I have purchased it if they hadn't said that to me? No, I would not have. And I know in my video of why beauty gurus are toxic, a lot of people are saying, oh, well, you have to blame the viewers as much as the companies. It's the people's fault for buying the things. It is not my fault and it is not your fault. If a brand tells you something will be limited edition and then it isn't, they are lying, and we as customers need to feel like we can trust these brands. And what has started to happen is we don't feel like we can trust them anymore. I bought a limited edition BH Cosmetics palette recently. I messaged them and said, is this limited edition? And they said yes, when it's gone, it's gone. I waited about 2 months to buy it. I did buy it. I got it for the holidays. It's still available. Now, I don't know if it's going to be permanent or limited edition because I have lost that trust. It's a dangerous game to play. One too many times of saying this is limited edition and then it's not, and all trust is lost between the brand and the consumer. I have one more Ofra collab, and then I will move on from Ofra. I actually have liked the things I have tried from Ofra. I just think that this is really uncool, the way they go about limited edition collections. And the next thing is the Ofra and Nikki Tutorials collection that was supposed to be limited edition. This came out a year and a half ago. They said it's limited edition. It comes with 3 liquid lipsticks and a highlighter. It retailed for $79. When Nikki Tutorials came out with this collection, she posted a video. Back then, I think I was either still subscribed or it just came up on my feed and I wanted to see it. I watched the video. So many of the comments were saying, how dare you charge us $80 for your collab? I know that it's Ofra and it's 3 liquid lipsticks and a highlighter, but we can't afford this. Well, very soon after that, it went on sale for $45. I would love to read you the description of this product, which is still on sale a year and a half later. Ofra Cosmetics has long time marveled at the supernatural talent of Nikki Tutorials. This spellbinding limited edition collection includes 3 custom liquid lipstick shades and a universal highlighter exclusively designed by Nikki herself. It says right there it's limited edition, and then if you read the fine print in all capitals, it says, this is a limited edition item and is not eligible for returns. Excuse me? What? This has been out for a year and a half and it's still limited edition so that you can't return it. At this point, I believe that this will be out for years, maybe another year at least, but it's just called limited edition so that you're not allowed to return it. What the hell, Ofra? Like, what the heck? You are just lying to people. Now, technically, they never did specify how long this would be out, but come on, you guys. We know limited edition things aren't supposed to be out for a year and a half. We know that's not how it works. And they haven't even said anything about it. They haven't even said, sorry guys, this is permanent now. They're still saying, oh yeah, this is limited edition. You can't return it. It's not limited edition. You're not fooling me, Ofra. You're not fooling me. Speaking of collabs, let's just stay on the train of collabs. Let's talk about Jaclyn Hill and Champagne Pop. Champagne Pop was almost the start of the highlight craze. I know there was the highlight craze before that, but Champagne Pop just made everyone lose their minds. Like, Champagne Pop and the Glow Kits were the 2 things that everyone just could not believe this was a thing that you could highlight like this. I remember when Champagne Pop came out and every YouTuber I watched was trying to get their hands on it and no one could, and it was so hard to find, and they went to 5 Sephoras and then they had a restock and then they had another restock, and now there is an entire Champagne Pop collection. You have the liquid version and then the cream version and then the pressed version, and it's been in other limited edition palettes. And this is where it gets tricky, because you could argue that this is one of those instances where they didn't know this would go so well, and then when it did, they were like, wow, we should keep this permanent. But I still don't know if that makes it better for me, and truthfully, I would love to try Champagne Pop. I never have, but I would love to. I would love to buy it. I don't love the fact that it's a collab, because what happens with collabs is you put someone's name on it, they get money for every product sold, and then once the product is done being sold, that's it. They don't get any more money, and then the brand has the permanent line of their stuff. But collabing with people and then making their product permanent also means that they are permanently getting money for that product. At least that's how I believe it is, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. That means that every time Champagne Pop is sold, Jaclyn Hill still gets a profit, and I don't know how I feel about that. I don't particularly want to buy something that will put money in Jaclyn's pocket. Now, that wouldn't stop me from buying Champagne Pop, but just the whole idea of it leaves me a little bit unsettled. And the other thing is the Morphe and Jaclyn Hill palette. The palette that, you know, had a lot of drama because the cake picture came out and it leaked it, and then she said, oh, it looks nothing like that, but then it was exactly the same, and then everyone loved this palette. It makes me uneasy that I can name 2 really popular things that she has collabed on that then turn permanent, because I feel like, is that the trend with her? Is she gonna come out with collabs and then it will always become permanent? How am I supposed to know? How am I supposed to trust that? Now, I've heard that this palette is super good and that a ton of people love it, and it does seem pretty unique, but at the the end of the day, this was something, I think after 3 or 5 restocks, they decided to make it permanent, but there was a frenzy. You could not get this and everyone wanted it. I just think that is problematic. It's like FOMO under a magnifying glass. It's so much more intensified. If you think this is limited edition and every time it comes out, it sells out within minutes, what if they told you, okay guys, we're gonna restock this, but it's gonna be permanent? Like, what if they actually disclosed that? How many less palettes do you think they would have sold? I think it would have been a lot less initially. Now, I'm not saying in the long run people wouldn't have caught on, but that initial frenzy is from the limited edition-ness of it. If you guys have seen every video in this series, you guys will know that I love to crap on Too Faced, and we're gonna do it again because we do it in literally every video. So let's just talk about the Too Faced Peach palette. A lot of you guys know my thoughts. I am not a supporter of this palette because there are no peach shades. There are like 2. It's called the Peach Palette, and the idea is you're supposed to have like every color of a peach, like the stem and the pit. I don't buy that. I know a lot of people love this though. It was limited edition. Have we forgotten about that? I think we have. This was limited edition. I'm pretty sure they had a restock and a lot of people got it. I almost felt like once it was gone, the craze was kind of over. Some people were still saying, I wish I could have gotten this, but to me, it didn't feel like a gap. Maybe the way the Mi Vida Loca Remix palette did. When that was gone, everyone was devastated if they didn't pick it up. But for me, it was kind of like, all right, the peach palette came and it went and we moved on. And then they came out with the peach line. I know I have talked the peach line to death in this series, so I won't dwell on it for too long. This is like the extreme version of turning a product permanent. This is like taking a limited edition product, saying, wow, people liked this, and then just making as many things relating to that product as you possibly can, and hoping that, you know, people want the entire line. The most crazy part of this to me is that it worked. People love the peach palette and they love the peachy matte palette, and you know, I'm not sure so much about the other products in the line, but this worked. People ate it up, and it's like, do you not remember? This was limited edition. It's so fishy to me, and that leaves me to not be able to just get behind it. The Kat Von D Alchemist palette, now, I don't really know if this is intended as an eye palette or a face palette. They are the size of eyeshadows, but a lot of people use them as highlighters. It's the whole unicorn-esque, moonchild-esque thing, and this was actually supposed to be a limited edition spring collection. I looked it up, and I found several articles about this from the time it first came out saying, new limited edition thing for spring, Kat Von D Alchemist palette. And then it did well. They just decided, all right, we're gonna make it permanent. It's frustrating, especially when it is a fad. I could be totally wrong, but I think in 5 years, these duochrome purple blue highlighters won't be a thing anymore, or at least the craze will be over. I kind of think the craze already is over. People aren't as fazed by this. At first, it was like we were breaking all these boundaries and wow, you can put that in your cheeks, that's so cool. And now it's kind of just like, it's great that that's socially acceptable, but I don't want a blue stripe on my face. I saw so many people buy this and say, oh, well, I'm not really sure if I'll use this, but it's limited edition and I don't want to miss out, and they bought it and then it's permanent. And I don't see anyone talking about this anymore aside from maybe like shop my stash videos, but in terms of favorites videos and things that people are really enjoying, I don't see people using this. So to me, it would have made more sense if they kept this limited edition, because it is one of those fads that I think is going to die out. Whereas the peach palette, I can sit here and say that I don't like that launch all I want, but we all know the peach palette is going to continue to do very well. Alright, and finally, I want to talk about brands that make it incredibly hard to tell if something is limited edition, and I want to tell you my 2 cents on that and why I think that is. So sometimes a palette will come out and you won't be able to figure out if it's limited edition or not. Brands will not disclose if it is a permanent thing in the collection or if it's gonna go soon. Sometimes they'll whisper it somewhere, like they'll tweet something and it'll say something, but then you don't know if you can trust that. This is, once again, a marketing strategy. If you release a palette and you don't say if it's limited edition or not, and then people love it, it's easy to keep it permanent and say, oh, well, yeah, it's permanent. We never said it was limited edition. And then if you release a palette and it's crap and everyone hates it, you can easily say, oh, that was limited edition, it'll be gone in a month, and then everyone will forget about it. Anastasia. Now, the Anastasia glow kits have been notoriously hard to figure out if they are limited edition. I remember trying to figure out if Moonchild was limited edition, and the thing about the glow kits is they don't always sell them at Sephora. I'm not sure if you can get Moonchild at Sephora anymore, but I know at one point they stopped selling it in the stores, and I can't remember if it was online. It was on the brand's website. I do own one of their limited edition glow kits. I have the Nicole Guerriero one, and I really like it, but before that came out, I really wanted a glow kit. And I remember looking at these glow kits and trying for the life of me to find which ones were permanent and which ones were limited edition, and it was so hard. And then again with Moonchild, I remember going online because at one point I was pretty interested in that. I wasn't sure if it was something that I would be into. It was the phase at the time on YouTube to have those, so I thought, you know, is this limited edition? Because if it is, maybe I should pick it up. I just could not tell you. If you had said, Lucia, I'll give you $100 if you can answer this question right, are these things limited edition? I would have been like, I don't know. I can't find any information on this. It's so ambiguous. It's frustrating because it's like, okay, are you waiting to see how this does, or do you just not want to tell us? And I know some people might not have a problem with that. You might think, so what if they don't tell you if it's limited edition? I see where that side is coming from. In some ways, it can be better to not say anything than to say it's limited edition and then take it back. But at the same time, I don't like that you can blatantly see that it's about the money and it's about the marketing and it's about, are we gonna sell this? Okay, if we do, then we'll make it permanent. I don't like that as a consumer. I don't like seeing that their priorities front and center are just about the money, even though obviously it is. I just don't like when brands don't have the decency to at least try to hide that a little bit. Alright guys, so that was everything for this video. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I know that people will have very different opinions on this, but please just be nice, and I'll see you guys very soon. Bye!